Yo, what's going on YouTube? Trucker D back again, back again. Hopefully you had a good weekend. Hopefully you're having a good week. Whenever you see this video, hopefully your week or weekend is going well. So this evening we're gonna talk about driving on US highways, state highways, things of that nature. So as you guys know, you're gonna drive a lot of interstates and then there's gonna be times where you're gonna be on a US highway like what I'm on right now. Now, we all like interstates, don't get me wrong, because interstates, you can do 70 plus, whatever you're going to. When you're on those US highways, man, those US highways can make or break you. So hopefully you trip planned if you are a trip planner. Hopefully you trip plan because these US highways, man, you could be on a US highway for 20 miles, you could be on a US highway for 300 plus miles. It just depends on where you're going. Now, there's a few things you need to keep in mind. I recommend before you get on a US highway, guys, you check that fuel, you check your clock, and check all the nearby safe havens because depending on where you are in the country, there may not be no truck stop on a US highway or on a state highway. There may not be a Pilot, there may not be a Love's, there may not be anywhere for you to fuel up. If you're running low on time, you need to check your clock. You need to see what's up there. If not, you need to look to see where there's a Walmart, a shopping plaza. Because I hate to tell you, it's not always going to be a safe haven. And God forbid you break down in the middle of nowhere because you're going to be fucked. That's the only way I can put it. You're going to be fucked. Biggest thing, too, is make sure you're paying attention to your signs, to the signs. Some of these U.S. highways have like alternatives, like 301 when you get into Stark. It's 301 and then there's US 301 ALT alternate, which means they don't want commercial vehicles going through like the town. So you might have to go around it. One thing you need to keep in mind too, especially like in the South, a lot of these little towns, they use these US highways as ways of making revenue, meaning they love to catch speeders. So the speed limit is constantly going to be going up and down, up and down. Now, those who are from Florida, y'all all know about US 301 between Ocala all the way up to Baldwin. Now, just a backstory on this route I'm on now. I've taken this so many times to the point where I know all the hot spots where they like to hide at between Ocala and Baldwin. And this stretch of road is about an hour and some change. So, just a fun fact too. It's a town on this road called Waldo. Those who don't know about Waldo, I'm gonna put y'all on game real quick. At one point, it was the speed trap capital of the United States. Yes, this little ass town was giving out the most tickets than any other place in the country. Now, fortunately, because of the crooked shit they had going on, Waldo PD is no longer a department anymore. So just make sure you're watching your signs because you're gonna notice every time you go through a town, the speed limit's gonna drop. Like usually on a US highway, the max speed is gonna be like 65 or 70. Anytime you go through a town, it's gonna drop. Now usually it's gonna go down every 10 miles an hour. Sometimes it might go straight from 65 to 45 in just a few feet. So just make sure you're on your toes because you don't want to catch no ticket going 10 or 15 over because you're done, you know. Make sure too, this is if you're rolling at night, because usually when I'm on this particular road, it's at nighttime. Make sure you look out for wildlife, deer. This road here is known for having deer, especially when you get closer to Ocala. It's a lot of deer. I done seen them run out in the roads, or usually they'll just be hanging on the shoulder. So just be careful. Pay attention. Also, too, U.S. highways, they can be pretty boring scenery-wise, so try to find something to occupy your time, meaning find a podcast to listen to. I don't recommend you watch movies, do that at your own discretion, but just find something to occupy your time. U.S. highways, too, you'll see a lot of interesting things when you go through some of these little towns. Now, fortunately for this route that I'm on now, it's pretty dead, it's pretty boring. So I don't really see anything except, the trains that go by because there are some train tracks to my right. So at nighttime, that's pretty much the only light I get is them trains because they run pretty much all night up and down 301. What else could I tell you guys about U.S. highways? I already talked about speed because they're going to get you if you're not careful. Um, be careful too, guys, where you shut down. Because like I said, sometimes there may not be a major truck stop on a U.S. highway. Um, keep in mind of where you shut down at because um, it can be some shady places out here on some of these little towns you're in. Just be careful. Also, make sure wherever you shut down at, make sure you're in an area to where you have signal. Because you're going to go through some dead zones. Like right now, I'm in a dead zone. And I'm going to be in a dead zone probably for like the next 3 miles or so. And like I said, I've rode down this stretch of highway so many times to where I know all the areas. This particular road here, a lot of truck drivers take this, a lot of cars take this because it's a shortcut from 75 to I-10 is a shortcut. It's faster because you're basically you're cutting right through Florida, like the middle of Florida, to go to the coast, which will be like Jacksonville area. So there's always like a lot of traffic on this particular stretch. Now the good thing now they have put some more truck stops because before there really wasn't any. There was just the TA and the pilot right off of I-10 and 301. But now they've added a pilot on this stretch. They've added a Loves, and I believe it's Hawthorne Floor, which I'm gonna be coming up on shortly, which is also where I'm gonna stop at real quick. See, I ain't gonna make this video too long, so just a recap. Make sure you do proper trip planning if you're a trip planner. Make sure you know where your fuel level is at. Make sure you have an idea of where you're gonna shut down at. And also just keep in mind on your time. We'll go back to the time real quick. Keep in mind, you're going to lose a lot of time when you're going on U.S. highways because you're not going to be able to go 70 or 65 the entire way because every little town you go through, it's going to drop as low as 25. It could drop down to 35, 45, 55, and it's going to go up and down for the duration that you're on that U.S. highway. Now, fortunately, this one, it's pretty much 65 from Baldwin to Ocala. All right, y'all. So hope this video helps. As I always tell y'all, thank you to all my day one subscribers. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Appreciate all you guys. If you aren't subbed, be sure to sub, hit the bell, so that way you get notified when I drop more videos. If you haven't checked out my other videos, be sure to do that. And as I always tell y'all, y'all take it easy, stay safe.